Come on in here, y'all. Let's go. We got some updates to give y'all. Come on in the chat room. Come in the chat room. Come in the chat. Letting the music play as you guys request. I'm letting the music play. We'll get started in like 1 minute. All right, let's go. We about to talk about this cringy ass Kamala interview. We about to talk about this cringy ass Kamala interview. But before we get started on this cringy ass Kamala interview, we got to start by talking business. Gavin Newsom, Governor Gavin Newsom, is hiding behind the Black Caucus of California, and he is upholding the lineage-based portion of reparations, and he's holding up the funding of the reparations department that's going to lead to a bureau that opens up reparations for us. Gavin Newsom, Governor Gavin Newsom, the guy who looks like Terry Silver on Karate Kid 3, Bathhouse Newsom, the same Governor Newsom that passed a law last year saying teachers do not have to, if a teacher tells a parent that their child is changing genders, that teacher could be fired for revealing that to the parent. We're talking about the same Gavin Newsom that is known in the San Francisco community as Bathhouse Gavin, because he's known for getting business deals done in bathhouses. The same Governor Gavin Newsom that approved a bill that will give $150,000 to illegal aliens for housing is standing behind the Black Caucus of California. And let's talk about them, those cowards. Those cowards are not introducing the bills, the two bills. And mind you, as of this past Tuesday's meeting I was at, they were saying that they have the 41 state Senate votes to pass said bill. Well, the Black Caucus is choosing to not introduce the bill. So Gavin Newsom, and I'm putting this on you, Gavin, because that's how I know how y'all work. You hide behind, see how these governors work and how government works and how their society works is they hide behind a thing called plausible deniability. And they hide behind the systems. They always said a monarchy creates a legislature to pawn responsibilities off on when it doesn't feel like taking the heat. That's the reason why monarchies bring in parliaments and governments have, legislatures, because the legislative branch gives plausible deniability to leadership that does not want to act or enact in the favor of the people. So they hide behind the legislature when they want to be cowards. So I'm breaking it down how it all the way works, Gavin Newsom. Yes, we have a whole bunch, and I'm not giving. Let's make this straight. I ain't giving no kind of passes to the weak asses that are on the Congressional Black Caucus here in California. So there's a call, before I go deeper, there's a call to action. Tomorrow, if you're in Sacramento or in the area, the California State Assembly, get there at 10 a.m. Be prepared to stay until 9 o'clock or later. They have until, actually tonight, this is tonight. It's going on tonight. It's going till 9 o'clock. This is actually tonight. I'm sorry, this is tonight. If you're in Sacramento. And they're going to also, I got a text from, let me see, let me go back to my text. From Miss Friday Jones. She's doing amazing work. I think there's another one. Let me go back to that text. And let's see what this is. We're going to have, let's see if there's another one. Okay. Oh, no, this is. So this is for today. Yeah, no, actually, they're going to meet tomorrow. But this will be, we have until tomorrow. And they're organizing something tomorrow, too. But if you could be there, be there. If not, call in. Call Governor Gavin Newsom's office. You see the phone number here, 916-445-2841. And you can also email Gavin Newsom's chief of staff. That's dana.williamson@gov.ca.gov. Also email and call the CLBC chair, the Black Leadership Bullshit Ass Caucus that we got, Lori Wilson, 916-319-2011. Also 707-438-7359. And also Lori Wilson's chief of staff, Taylor Woolfork. Taylor.woolfork@asm.ca.gov. Let your voices be heard. The two most important parts of this legislation are not going through. And what's going to happen is Newsom is going to hide behind the restitution for land taken. But let's look at here. This bill, SB 1050, this is not for black people only. This is everybody bill that got approved. The two things that were for black people only are being held up by the Black Caucus. So take those numbers, and when we're done talking here, hit them up, let them know. Also, I want to call out, because this is closer to me, just outside of my district, but I'm real close to Inglewood, so I know a lot of people in Inglewood. Assemblywoman Tina McKinnon, we got to call her out. This is Assemblywoman Tina McKinnon earlier today, supporting California labor and their Local 49, and I ain't got no issues with her supporting them. We need unions. I support unions too. I believe unions should have what they get because unions keep things fair. You need unions to collectively bargain against bullshit ass companies. Well, she's bragging about that, but she's holding up reparations. The same woman, oh yeah, they let the thing go that doesn't include just black people. Okay. The same woman This is something else. A bill for migrants, humanitarian aid. This is money to migrants. She's supporting money to migrants. Money. Okay. And so I want to point out who these people are. Let me go to Killer Mike's page. Because this is the reason why she's coming out. Where is it? Where is the part? Because she stood up. Here she is. She's the woman that on Killer Mike's page, when he's saying to take action, he's calling to action Assemblywoman Tina McKenna out of Inglewood. And Tina McKenna, I don't live in Inglewood, but I live right by Inglewood. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of businesses in Inglewood. We're going to vote you out, Tina McKenna, for being the person that's speaking up for this. Our work towards justice is not limited to just one bill in 1 year. The Black Caucus Reparations Pact is a multi-year effort, and I hope we can work together next year to see this work through. She's not going to, if it's up to us, because she wrote this, if it's up to us, she's not going to have a next year. Tina McKenna, Assemblywoman Tina McKenna, is up for re-election in 67 days. So let's do what we can do to get her the fuck out of here. Because what good is she if she's not, what good is a black face in a high place if they can vote for things for immigrants who aren't even citizens? Remember, she also voted for illegals getting $150,000 down payment assistance on homes this year. So we calling her out. We calling out Stephen Bradford. I do have some control over Stephen Bradford because this dude is. I do. Look, he don't even got that many people. He's pushing everything. He's talking about 1050, but he's not doing nothing to push for the rest. So Senator Bradford, we need you to push harder. All right? This is what's going on. The black, let me see here. Who's in the California Black Caucus? Because there's a lot of bills. Okay. The Legislative Black Caucus, here's their website, blackcaucus.legislature.ca.gov. That is Senator Bradford, and that's Mayor Karen Bass right there. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Let me see here. Our members, current members. Okay, here we are. Here we go. These are the people that are choosing to not bring this to Gavin Newsom's desk, and they are falling on the sword and potentially going to lose their jobs over Gavin Newsom. It's like a whole bunch of church-going niggas here, ain't it? Okay, Isaac Bryan, a guy with 2 first names. The chair is Lori Wilson. She's the chair. So here's the chair. It's the chair's job. It's the chair's job to introduce the bill. So she's the boss right here. This is the boss of the California Congressional Black State Assembly. Right here. Raised in Fresno. Okay. Let's go to her website. So for those of you up there in Central California, this is your girl, Lori Wilson. Contact me. Okay. And I'm not going to do this now. I want y'all niggas saying my address. But she has a contact page, and so does Tina McKinnon. I'm going to put those contact pages in the chat. Boom. There's one. And here's two. Mods, can you please copy these? There we go. So these are the people that are deciding to stand in front of Gavin Newsom. And Gavin Newsom, he can stand with gays. He can stand with the illegals. And I'm not against him standing with anybody. I'm the one, man. I want everybody to get theirs. This government makes enough money for everybody to get a slice of the pie. I'm not against nobody getting a slice. But I am against everybody getting a slice and not us. And so Governor Karate Kid 3, Terry Silver, Governor Terry Silver from Karate Kid 3, sweep the leg. Sweep the leg. Come on, Governor, sweep the leg. Don't they look? Ain't he the old version of Terry Silver? We got old Terry Silver, Newsom. Sweep the leg, LaRusso. Sweep the leg. We got Governor Terry Silver from Karate Kid 3 that wants to hide behind his Negro coons and not get the most substantive legislation that could be in American history, that is setting the precedent for lineage-based reparations and funding an agency that's going to be in place for future hand-downs that are owed to Black Americans from California, from Los Angeles, San Francisco, the United States, and anywhere else in this country. So yeah, it looks as if Gavin Newsom wants his reputation when he runs for president in 2028 to be Bathhouse Gavin, the man who cares more about a lot. Oh, do y'all know Gavin Newsom made a move a few years ago to where he decriminalized if you give somebody AIDS? Do you know that? You know, people after Magic Johnson, people worked real hard to make it a criminal to knowingly give somebody AIDS. Gavin Newsom took that shit out. And the same state assembly that's blocking reparations said, it's no longer a felony to knowingly give someone AIDS. It's now just a misdemeanor. Yeah. So this is what freaky California is about. So let's just make sure that we let them know that we see what they're up to and you're educated on what's going to happen. Let me before we get to Kamala Harris, let's break down what they're doing politically. They're slowing things down. They're trying to run the clock out, hoping that we lose motivation. That legislation to have lineage-based reparations and also to fund a department to be set up for lineage-based reparations, that was too far for them. So they approved basically something that looks like reparations, but it's not. Is giving land back, but that's also going to go back to the Latinos that got Chavez Ravine taken from them to build Dodger Stadium. That's going to go back to everybody, to people, anyone of any color, race, or creed, because it wasn't just Black people that was displaced by the 10 freeway. Yes, they took out the Sugar Hill District, but they took out the Sugar Hill District in the 50s. Most of those people are dead, and most of their descendants are gone out of California and have no clue what's going on. So they're never going to claim this land. Same thing with Broadway. the Central Avenue project that's in between Broadway and Figueroa, going down the 110 freeway, most of those people are gone. And so the people who are going to benefit most from this are going to be people, because when they built the 10, as you got the Santa Monica, white folks' house was displaced too. So they're going to get their shit back. That's an everybody program. The two things that were specific to us, they didn't push through. And so what's going to happen is they're going to hope our memories expire. And when it's time for re-election for these Congressional Black Caucus members in the coming months, they're going to get voted. They're going to hope that we forget. My thing is, and they're going to run the whole leverage game. Well, we need another 2 years. No, you don't get another 2 years, because if you're voting things through for other people and you're not doing it for us, we don't need you now. McKinney and all you other niggas that ain't doing this shit, Bradford, whoever the fuck you are, we don't need you. We might as well, if you're not gonna give anything for us, we might as well let any old who get up in that office and let them do what they do. Why would we allow y'all to keep jerking us around with pawning us off every 2 years? So they're gonna, one, hope that we forget. Two, when Newsom runs, he's gonna pass, because it's about there's a bunch of more reparations bills on the docket. So in the next couple of years, they're gonna fund a few. They're gonna probably pass a couple more of those bills that mean nothing, the ones that go to everybody, and nothing substantive is going to get passed. And Gavin Newsom is going to run for the election in 2028, and he's going to tell America that he supported black people, he supported reparations for black people, but it was nothing. And the legislation that he could have had on his desk that was of substance, he's going to say, well, I would have signed it if it got to my desk. That's the game Newsom's going to play. He's going to play the, I would have signed it if it got to my desk. That's what he's going to do. Don't let him play that game the way he like playing with balls. Don't let him play with that game. Governor Terry Silver, that ain't cool. And yeah, I talk shit about politicians. I crack jokes on them because they're the slimiest sons of bitches to ever walk this planet. And we're not supposed to take politicians serious. Business people don't take politicians serious. They're a bunch of court jesters. That's what they are. A bunch of clowns. We don't take them clowns serious, especially if they don't do nothing for us. Fuck them. You do not have to respect people who don't respect you, black people. We got to get that shit out of our mind. If they don't respect you, you don't have to respect them. You only respect people who respect you. You only respect people who deserve respect. And anybody who does not respect you does not deserve your respect. Save your energy, people. Save your energy and save your love for those who love you. Save your respect for those who respect you. Everybody else, fuck them. Fuck them. Look at this dumbass. Hey, keep this asshole in here. We are 6% of the population. California Negroes are 6% of the population and got a reparations bill further than any other state in American history. The fuck do you mean we don't step? Who is this clown? Where are you from? Don't ban them, mods. Don't ban them. But where is this nigga from? How the fuck did 6% of the population get this far? And you probably in a state with 20% black and ain't came half as far. Sorry, these weird ass niggas that want to talk shit about Cali. Nigga, we turn shit up. Nigga, we ain't got hardly no black people here. And we still got shit further than your state. But that's what happens when you got a nigga. When you got a nigga that was still in a baby stroller at 7 years old. That's that kind of that. You were still You was still getting milk out your mom's titty when you was 6. What up, Reginald? That's my nigga right there. Hey, me and Reggie was getting loaded. Hey, Reggie, that mango goddamn lemonade with the nigga. Man, that nigga Reggie was getting loaded the other night. Yeah, that was probably a tether that said that. Somebody that identifies as being a loser, and they were projecting that loserdom. Cause I noticed black people from the South in California, we get along pretty well. Like non-tethers, and again, I ain't talking about immigrants. I'm talking about tethers. Black folks from the South and the West usually get along famously. We usually get along famously, and the Midwest, and the Midwest, East Coast too. East Coast too. I love DC. You know, but I don't know enough niggas. I don't. The few people I know from Boston suck, but I'm not gonna blame all of Boston on a handful of niggas I know from there. But them handful of niggas I know from Boston suck. But I'm not gonna say all of y'all like that. All right. Mm-hmm. So as we go into it, let's go into how that plays with Kamala Harris. Let's go into what that means when it comes to Kamala Harris. So you see California reparations in 5 years. This stuff started getting worked on in 2019 before the pandemic. The pandemic slowed things down. So including a delay with the pandemic, these reparations bills are taking about 5 years to get from initial stage to governor's desk. And it all happened with grassroots people with regular day jobs that some got hired onto the commission, and some great people are the reparationists that's on a commission. Friday Jones, you talk about a woman that's down for blackness. Man, I'm thoroughly impressed by her work and how down she is. I'm thoroughly impressed. And so I will say that we have the right people speaking for us. We have some of the right people speaking for us, okay? And that's how we got the lineage-based reparations part, because the people like Friday, who she understands the importance of lineage-based reparations. So I want y'all to follow her and keep her. She's great for the updates. She's great for the updates. I am Friday Jones. She's somebody who's down for black people. She ain't here. She ain't trying to hear all that extra whoopty wham. People of color, not blah 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 blah. So here, this is she's someone who's our voice. You also want to add. I get a lot of my updates from Camila Moore. She's another person who's been working hard for us. She's somebody that you're going to have to follow, Camila Moore. And also, CJEC Official. They're the ones. They're the government nonprofit organization that's really. This is the grassroots organization that's really pushing it the most. CJEC Official. CJEC Official. Follow them on Twitter. These are the ones. These are the people that's behind what's going on. These are the ones that are fighting the hardest to keep this a black thing. CJEC, Camila Moore, and Friday Jones. These are the people that are these are the people I've been following the whole time to get my information from, okay? So make sure y'all follow them and you see how they're doing. You see how they're working hard. You see how hard they're working. And here's a California Black Caucus right here. Let's see what they're doing. The last time they tweeted was in 2021. And look at them, face to face with Kamala Harris, which brings us to what I want to talk about next. Cringy Kamala and her sorry ass interview. Y'all see how these Democrats act? This is what voting down ballot does. Now, what Camilla Moore, CJEC, what they're putting together, these are people outside of government putting that stuff together. This stuff can be put in front of any politician if we as black people are putting money behind our politicians, whether that politician is white, Asian, Latino. If we started organizing more locally and started funding more politicians and not giving a shit about their color, this kind of stuff can go in any way it can. There aren't just black people voting for this. I want to be very clear. California does not have 41 black state assemblymen and women. There are state assemblymen. I will say there was a Japanese coalition that was at the meeting. There are Japanese and Asian senators voting for this reparations bill. There are some Latino state senators voting for this bill. There's some white senators that are okay with voting for this bill. But as you see, it's the black ones that's holding it from getting there. That shows you that voting color don't mean shit. So I get tired of you goddamn, I want a black woman in office. First of all, this bitch ain't black. And I use that word bitch because of how she treated us while she was here in California. She treated us like she was one. I did not use that word out of order. I used it within order, within context of how she treated black people when she was here, Kamala Harris. And how she treats black people now as the VP. That was not me speaking out of turn or out of control, okay? I respect women. But when you do shit like this, I'm going to talk shit about a woman the same way I'm going to talk shit about a man. I'm going to talk shit about a black person the same way I'm going to talk shit about a white person, an Indian, a Mexican, or anybody else. You fuck with my people, we talking shit. You do not deserve my respect. So I just want to make that very clear. I did not slip. Y'all know I have respect for women, especially my black women. But she ain't one of them. So this goes to show you that what we have going on here in California is proof positive that we as black people do not need to be voting color. Because that black caucus thing that Gavin Newsom is hiding behind, they're giving the CLBC, these cats are giving Gavin Newsom cover. When they should be covering us, Lori Wilson, Stephen Bradford, and Stephen Bradford, yeah, we're gonna be having some, I'm gonna be calling this dude before the election. I don't know how much support he's gonna get from me anymore. I got a story about Stephen Bradford. Y'all want to hear my Stephen Bradford story? This guy right here, he's the vice chair, so it's their job. They're the ones not bringing this to the floor. Let me give you my Stephen Bradford story. Every year here in California, we have the Gardena Jazz Festival here. And I didn't go this past year, but a few years ago I went. And this is about 10 years ago. I went to the Gardena Jazz Festival. Y'all ever see them TV shows where the dude is being fake? Remember back in the 90s and the 80s, it'd be them sitcoms where the celebrities being fake, and then he turned around and he cuss out or say something real evil to his people, and then turn around and smile to the people. That's what he did. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget. Let me see if I can put his picture up here. Stephen Bradford, this guy right here. So I'm at the Gardena Jazz Festival one day, right? And me and my wife, we leaving. Me and Isha, we leaving. We getting ready to go out. So no, we weren't. We were sitting down, and he was walking, and he didn't know nobody was looking. So he had a cigar. No, I'm sorry, no, somebody else had a cigar. He didn't have a cigar. His assistant was right behind him. And I guess his assistant was moving slow. Right in front of me and my wife, this dude was like, "Hey, nigga, hurry up, man. I'm trying to get the fuck on out of here." Then he saw me and my wife. He was like, "Hey there, buddy. How's it going there? Senator Bradford. Vote for me in November." This nigga really did that. And I looked at, man, we looked at each other like, man, this nigga greasy. He literally was like, he told his assistant, he was like, hurry up, nigga, let's hurry up. I'm trying to get the fuck on out of here. But he didn't know we was looking. And me and my wife looking dead at this nigga like, and he was like, come on, nigga, hurry up. Hey, Senator Bradford here. How you doing there? Vote for me this coming November. Stephen Bradford. Good seeing you. I hope you had a good time at the Gardena Jazz Festival. I knew he was full of shit then. And Senator Bradford, I'm calling you out because you're not separated. What I'm hearing is, it is you guys that are holding up the vote. And this is your leadership position, homeboy. She's the chair, you're the vice chair. So you two have the power to bring this to the floor. And you're holding it up. Mind you, Stephen Bradford, see, he doing this shit. See, the Gardena Jazz Festival was last week. He lucky as fuck it ain't this week. Because usually say, well, it was the last Sunday. This coming Sunday in September. That's why it was. Ooh, Stephen Bradford, you are so fucking lucky at the Gardena Jazz Festival. Because if God damn it, this happened last week, and them 10,000 Negroes that was there found out, oh boy, you strategic ass nigga. So these are the people we talking about. So back to Kamala Harris. So I'm making that point to say Kamala Harris, and I do say Kamala Harris, I don't get this Kamala shit. My whole goddamn life, she been in the papers here in California for 30 years. And we always called her Kamala Harris. Kamala, like that wrestler back in the day. It was always Kamala. Now she wants to say it's Kamala. It's Kamala. Nah, bitch, it's Kamala. And go to DewanB.com. Sign up for my email list so you can get it. If you want updates on everything that I'm doing, hit the email list, please. Please hit the email list now. Put your name, email, phone number, and please don't subscribe if you don't want emails. Some of you, I've had people that have literally signed up in the email address. I only send emails like once, maybe twice a month. I don't send emails. I'm too fucking busy to be sending daily emails. I may send at max 2 emails a month, maybe a third, but usually about 1 email a month. And I've had motherfuckers sign up, and then the first email I send, they get their name removed. Don't sign up then, goddammit. Shit, ain't nobody telling your ass to sign up. Ain't nobody making you do it. We asking you. But I'm telling you, I want to subscribe for limited updates. Limited. And I do send them limitedly. That's if you don't want email updates, don't put your name and phone number down. You wasting my fucking time. I get charged for them goddamn emails. So if you don't want to email, don't put your name down there. With love. So let's go into Kamala. Let's go into Kamala Harris. She is over here, had a terrible interview yesterday. This interview was trash. Why was it trash? Because Kamala Harris is a terrible fucking interviewee. God damn, I'd hate to interview her. This is one cackling ass, oh my God. And so in the interview, She gets caught up a couple times, back and forth, and she's talking about her first day in office. So I want to play some parts of this interview. And then after I play some parts of this interview, let me see here. I got it. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm over here getting some stuff. I'm over here getting an email from Section 8. I ain't on Section 8. Although I wish I was on Section 8. All these illegals on Section 8, shit, I should be. But nah, I'm renting out. I got somebody I'm getting ready to rent out to. So they just sent me another approval letter. All right, cool. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. So let's pull up this interview with Kamala. And I do say Kamala, not Kamala. Her name is fucking Kamala. This shit was cringe. So what we gonna do is we gonna watch different parts of this interview. Then we gonna talk about it. She double talked her way all throughout this. She did not give direct answers, and it was bad. But let's watch some of it. Let's watch some of it together, okay? Y'all ready?
Governor Walz, thank you so much for sitting down with me and bringing the bus. The bus tour is well underway here in Georgia. You have less time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history. The voters are really eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward, in a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think.
Remember, I told y'all before, the Republicans bring people back to a past that never existed, and Democrats talk about a future they have no plans on creating. So pay attention to all this hope and forward talk. Hope and forward means I'm not going to do anything. Mind you, let's also keep in the context that her administration has been in power now for 4 years, and they've had the numbers in the Senate and the Congress to do whatever they want to do.
Sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation, and I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example. Plan for what I call an opportunity economy.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life, to help them buy a car seat, to help them buy baby clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now.
So she's talking about giving money to babies, people who have babies, not everyday Americans, but people who got babies under a certain age. Okay.
So there are a number of things on day one.
What about you?
Well, I'm excited about this agenda, too. As I said, the idea of inspiring America to what can be, and I think many of these things that the Vice President's proposing are
he like they made him take this job by they put a gun to his head and made him take this job. I don't want to hear shit he got to say. This nigga does not want this job. He's being forced to have it.
You call it the opportunity economy. you are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability. Yeah. One of your campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. People, I mean, literally, we were all tracking the numbers, hundreds of people.
People, is it just me? Is it just me, or does she look incompetent and sound incompetent like a motherfucker? You gotta realize, you know what I realized, Kamala Harris? I had more money in my pockets back then than I do now, because a goddamn mango wasn't $15. I know that. And we dealing with this, and her only answer to that is
people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis. When
the economy crashed, the economy didn't crash. The market took a huge dive because of the virus. And it was that virus that put Joe Biden in power. It wasn't mismanagement. I got to give Trump credit for that. It was a virus.
When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have...
Inflation under 3% today after it spent 2.5 years going at a record pace high. It spent... The majority of this administration, post-2021, inflation shot through the motherfucking roof. Let me see. Look at this. In 2020, that was Trump's last year in power, inflation was at 1.2%. Joe Biden's first year, 4%. His second year, 8%. His third year, 4%. And it just got, in June 2024, down 3%. But that's after the shit went through the motherfucking roof. And it's still not where it was when you took office. Let's break this all the way down. It's still not where it was when you took office. It was at 1.2% when you took office. Hell no, I ain't signing up for your sorry ass website. So they try to play word games with you like that. Inflation's at 3%. But what about the last 2 years? 3 years? All right. Gas done went through the roof. Everything is through the roof. You don't get credit for putting out a fire you started. Matter of fact, you didn't put it out. You don't get credit for partially containing a fire that you started. Well, it's just a few little bushes of fire over there. God damn it, the house still smoking though. Oh, God. Oh, no, wrong button.
The former president of the United
States. Wrong button. Where was I?
Madam Vice President, Governor Walz.
No, I was up here.
Really dividing our nation.
When it comes to the economy specifically.
They were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis. When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world. But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it. which is why my agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging, what we need to do to extend the child tax credit to help young families be able to take care of their children in their most formative years, what we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers.
That's the part I want to get to right there. A tax credit for first-time home buyers. Huh. Do y'all know she wasn't talking a few months ago tax credit for first-time home buyers? A few months ago, she was saying $25,000 towards your home. Y'all see the difference? One is I give you $25,000 to put down on this house. The other is you come up with your own punk ass $25,000, and then when you buy the house, you'll be able to write that off. Do you see the difference? I took a screenshot of a couple of her posts, but my AirDrop for some reason is acting like a crackhead right now. So let me mail this to myself. Let me go old school. Since AirDrop want to be a hoe. Let me just email it to myself real quick. There we go. I wanted y'all to see these tweets. I took a screenshot. Let me pull this tweet up. Let me pull this up. Since my sorry ass AirDrop don't want to work right now. All right. Okay. There we go. So. Oh, got a card. Had a card reading this morning. Get your cards read at breakthroughcards.com. That card reading was great too. I love reading. I love reading cards, man. That shit fun. Love helping people. So look. No, not this one. This isn't the tweet I wanted. God damn it, the one. That's the undocumented one. I don't think I almost took a screenshot of that tweet. Ah, fuck. I cannot find that tweet. I cannot find it. That was an undocumented tweet. Where's the other one? Damn it, y'all. I thought I had this shit saved. It did not save the tweet. Damn it. Oh, let me just see if I can go back, because I want to prove this fucking point. Fuck that shit. Let me see if I can go back. Let me see. Let me see if I put it up. Here it is. This is from August 22nd. Let me see. August 19th. Let me see. Let's read this article together. It says, here it is. On Friday, presumptive Democrat, I'm right here. You see where I have it highlighted? On Friday, presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris pledged to provide $25,000 in support for qualifying first-time home buyers if elected. So, first of all, this isn't enough. Look at this. Under those changes, let me see here. Would-be home buyers need to sign a legal agreement with their agents up front outlining how those agents get paid. Yada, yada, yada. That's that commission part. Where's the $25,000? That was something else. Okay, that was one. Here it is. ABC News. Harris to propose up to $25,000 in down payment support for first-time home buyers. So this isn't just me talking. When Vice Presidential candidate Harris unveils her economic policy proposals in rally on Friday, it will include a proposal to provide up to $25,000 in down payment support for first-time home buyers. Ma'am, that's way different than a tax credit. Which one is it?
To take care of their children in their most formative years. What we need to do to bring down the cost of housing. My proposal includes what would be a tax credit of $25,000 for first-time home buyers.
She just said right there, a tax credit. But what she says here is $25,000 down. Which one is it? You can't believe nothing she says. I'm telling y'all, I'm from California. She's been part of my political life as long as I've been around. Paying attention to politics, she's been around. You cannot believe nothing this woman says. She lies just like Trump. Y'all keep acting like Trump the only liar. First of all politicians lie. But she's worse than Trump. I'm telling you from experience. She couldn't even go a whole goddamn week without lying. When is this article? August 15th? So let's keep going.
So they can just have enough to put a down payment on a home, which is part of the American dream and their aspiration, but do it in a way that allows them to actually get on the path to achieving that goal and that dream.
So you have been vice president for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Ooh. And here's one, because there's going to be people that's mad at that question. And here's the reason why that's an honest and valid question. Even now, they have 4 months with the Congress and the Senate on their side to pay it forward and push through things that they want done to show that Kamala Harris is the right one to be elected. And they're not doing it. But let's hear what she has to say.
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have done that. I'm very proud of the work that we have done that has brought inflation down to less than 3%. The work that we have done to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. Donald Trump said he was going to do a number.
Talking about insulin and seniors. Notice I talk about seniors and they talk about the future. She's talking about insulin and seniors. The question was, you had all these things to do for the economy, and you talking about insulin.
A number of things, including allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices, never happened. We did it. So now, as I travel in the state of Georgia and around our country, the number of seniors that have benefited, I was in Nevada recently, a grandmother who showed me her receipts. And before we capped the cost of insulin for seniors at $35 a month, she was paying hundreds of dollars, up to thousands of dollars a month for her insulin. She's not doing that anymore.
You maintain Bidenomics is a success.
I maintain that when we do the work of bringing down...
That's a great question she has. Do you maintain that Bidenomics is a success? Because Kamala's basically just capping for Biden. Talking about this is what the Bidenomics is, the Biden economy. They chose to focus on insulin. They chose to focus on these side areas, not the general well-being of the overall economy. These niche areas for niche voters, they decided to focus on that. And she's defending that.
On prescription medication for the American people, including capping the cost of the annual cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000. When we do what we did in the first year of being in office to extend the child tax credit so that we cut child poverty in America by over 50%, when we do what we have done to invest in the American people and bringing manufacturing back to the United States so that we created over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, bringing business back to America. What we have done to improve the supply chain so we're not relying on foreign governments to supply American families with their basic needs, I'll say that that's good work. There's more to do, but that's good work.
So basically here, this is Kamala, or Kamala. I want to make sure I say her name the way I learned to say it 30 years ago, and that's Kamala. So Kamala Harris is standing by the last 4 years, really 3 years of bullshit we've been dealing with in this economy. She is standing by it. So the question is, do you want 4 more years of this economic record? Because she's not doing anything, she's not saying anything to differentiate herself from what's been going on the last 4 years. So she's telling you right now, that's the direction she wants to go in. What's up, Sean Mills? Appreciate the super chat. Says, why no one understand her views are Biden's and she's using his talking points, no tax on tips. Yeah. She's using Trump talking points of the no tax on tips because she voted for a tax on tips. And now she's going around saying that now she don't want tax on tips. You was a deciding vote. If Kamala didn't want tax on tips, she was the deciding vote in a 50-50 split Congress to not approve President Biden's tax bill. But she was the deciding vote that said no tax on tips. We are going to tax tips. That was her vote. Let's keep going.
Work. I want to get some clarity on where you stand on some key policy issues. Energy is a big one. When you were in Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, "There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, and I made that clear on the debate stage in 2020, that I would not ban fracking. As vice president, I did not ban fracking. As president, I will not ban fracking.
As vice president, she's claiming she did not ban fracking. So she's telling you she has some level of power. If she could have banned fracking as vice president, according to her, she's saying she would. She said she had the power to do it, but she didn't. And you see again, what did I tell y'all? I'm from California. I've been hearing this woman's name for 30 years. Kamala Harris. Well, the first 20 years I heard her name is because of the nefarious lewd acts. I won't say acts, but the relationships she would be with dudes, but that's another story. Politically, I've been hearing her name for 20 years. 30 years for other reasons. But she's been around and she's been part of how we get down here in California for a long time. And the whole time she's been here, you do not know where this woman stands on anything. She has no principles on standing her ground on things. None. No principles. None. So you see here, she said in a debate in 2019 that she would ban fracking, and then a year, and that's an important thing, because oil fracking, the studies say it causes earthquakes, it causes particular harms to the environment, but on the other hand, it provides critical jobs, especially in places that aren't beautiful. I was about to say something more mean, but I don't want to be mean right now, so I'm gonna be nice. But they was fracking over here in Ladera Heights, in the Ladera oil field, but California banned that shit. But our economy's so goddamn dope. We got so much to do here in California. They couldn't get it, but they can't get away with that in Pennsylvania. Can't get away with that in Ohio. Can't get away with that in the Midwest. So of course she flopped and flipped and flopped and flipped and flipped and flopped. The same way she did with Sweet Dick Willie Brown when he gave her them appointments. to her position while he was the mayor of San Francisco, but that's another story. Let's keep going.
Okay. In 2019, I believe, in a town hall, you said you were asked, would you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking on your first day in office? And you said, there's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. So yes. So it changed in that campaign?
In 2020, I made very clear where I stand. We are in 2024, and I've not changed that position, nor will I going forward. I kept my word, and I will keep my word.
What?
So in let's see the difference. In 2019, she was running for office. In 2020, she was already in office and running with Joe, because you got to remember, she suspended her campaign real early. So when it came time to get with Joe, all of a sudden she changed it. All right.
What made you change that position at the time?
Well, let's be clear. My values have not changed. I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must.
She's trying to do two things at once. She keeps saying her values haven't changed. When it comes to the environment, that's a value-based legislation, because money-wise, people get paid more money to screw the environment up. That's just what it is. In America, you get paid more to screw the environment up. So those who take on causes for the environment, they're willing to take less money in for the greater good of the environment. That's why I said she has fuzzy character. How do you flip on an environment how do you flip on something like the environment? And you talk about your values don't change. The environment is a value concept.
Clear. My values have not changed. I believe it is very important that we take seriously what we must do to guard against what is a clear crisis in terms of the climate. And to do that, we can do what we have accomplished thus far. The Inflation Reduction Act, what we have done to invest, by my calculation, over probably $1 trillion over the next 10 years, investing in a clean energy economy.
Inflation Reduction Act. What did Grant Cardone have to say about the Inflation Reduction Act? This is what Grant Cardone had to say about the Inflation Reduction Act, what it did and how effective it was. A question asking, how did the $1.9 trillion Inflation Reduction Act reduce inflation? There's another one. There's another one that where he broke down how much money she could have gotten. Because basically, there's an interview where Grant Cardone basically said that she could have given basically every black person in America $360 grand, or built 8 million houses with the money, with the $1.9 trillion that went towards the Inflation Reduction Act. Overall, that act was a fucking failure. Look at how we still are. Look at how we still spending money now. That act was a goddamn failure.
What we've already done, creating over 300,000 new clean energy jobs, that tells me, from my experience as vice president, we can do it without banning fracking. In fact, Dana, I cast the tie-breaking vote that actually increased leases for fracking as vice president. So I'm very clear about where I stand.
And was there some policy or scientific data that you saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now?
What I have seen is that we can grow and we can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking. I have seen is that
this is a great fucking question. Let's go back.
And was there some?
Here's the reason why she asked this question. She said, was it some kind of evidence, something that was done to make you change? This is her giving Kamala an out. With this question, she's giving Kamala an out. She's giving you an out saying, okay, you say your values don't change, but you change. And we all know that fracking is a value-based political agenda. So she asked you, was there any kind of evidence? And what did she answer? What did she say?
policy or scientific data that you saw that you said?
That actually increased leases for fracking as vice president. So I'm very clear about where I stand.
And was there some policy or scientific data that you saw that you said, oh, okay, I get it now?
What I have seen is that we can.
If she was smart, she would have then now said, okay, there was a study, because there's a study to prove anything you want to be proved right. All right, that's how numbers work. Numbers prove whatever you want them to prove. If you say, okay, I want this thing to look that way, we can come up with some numbers to make it sound like that. And those numbers are going to be right and exact. And we're going to tell a lie around those numbers and make you believe that. She couldn't even pin a policy, because she couldn't even lie about a policy. Even if it was a study that was refuted, she couldn't even find a refuted study to drop and mention and answer the goddamn question.
Can grow and we can increase a thriving clean energy economy without banning fracking.
Okay.
My values don't change, but the environment is a value-based topic. I want to go to the second part of the interview.
Another issue.
And then I'm not going to go through the whole interview, but I'm going to go to there's a part I want to go through in the second part of the interview, though. Oh, yeah, make sure you hit the like button. We have over 600 up in here on YouTube. We need to have over 600 likes. We have over 600 in on Twitter, or 500 in on Twitter. We got to have 500 retweets. Retweet this shit, niggas. And go to DewanB.com. So let's finish this cringy Kamala interview. This is part 2.
Big one is immigration. Mm-hmm. As vice president, you were tasked with addressing the root causes of migration in southern countries and
northern part of Central America.
The northern part of Central America that affects the southern border of the U.S. Mm-hmm. During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border.
Well, they didn't mention the fact that they ran on stopping Trump from securing the border. Trump was all about the border, even though he wasn't the greatest at it either. They basically called Trump a racist for going and defending the border, let more people over here than any other administration in American history. And now she's skating around the answer.
And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border, and because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill. A border security bill that would have put 1,500 more agents on the border. And let me tell you something, the Border Patrol...
So she's blaming Trump for something that apparently happened in 2019, but the border got screwed up really bad in 2020-21. So, and they've had whatever Trump did or didn't do. And don't she look like the goddamn Joker right here? Look at her mouth. Look at her face. If that's not the Joker, what is? So Trump didn't do something 5 years ago. So that stopped you from doing something 2 years ago. Does that make sense to y'all? Does that make sense to y'all? With that Joker grin.
Endorsed the bill. And I'm sure in large part because they knew they were working around the clock and 1,500 more agents would help them. That bill would have allowed us to increase seizures of fentanyl. Ask any community in America that has been devastated by fentanyl. What passed?
I had one of my homeboys died over some fentanyl a couple of years ago. That was still under your administration. And what did you do about it the last 4 years? This last 4 years you were just talking about how you're proud of. She's literally blaming, and this is the kind of woman I don't want my young black women going up to say that I don't want black girls thinking that they're like her. I want my black girls to be able to be leaders and take accountability when things don't go their way. I don't want black girls looking at this as no goddamn example of how to be. Look at this.
Passing that bill would have done to address their concern and a pain that they've experienced.
So you would push that legislation again. I just want to ask
about... Not only push it, I will make sure that it comes to my desk and I would sign it.
Just one other question about something that you said in 2019 when you first ran. There was a debate. You raised your hand when asked whether or not the border should be decriminalized. Do you still believe that?
I believe there should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced that address and deal with people who cross our border illegally, and there should.
Now I can show. This is the Twitter. This is a screenshot I was talking about earlier. Look at that Joker face. Oh my God. Let's see doublespeak Kamala. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. It's ludicrous to say we are going to deport 12 million people. So she's saying, this is back when this shit was really hitting the fever pitch. 2021. Her words. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. That was, more so in response to when people were talking about what's going on. What are we going to do about this border? What are we going to do to send these people back? She's saying they're not criminals. All right. They're not doing that. They're illegal. They're breaking the law, but they're not criminals. Okay.
Should be consequence. And let's be clear, in this race,
she's saying there should be
I'm the only person who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations who traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a board.
You're a fucking prosecutor. Of course. And trafficking people carrying guns across the border is different than stopping people from crossing this border illegally and then turning around and giving them $9,000 a month and Section 8 housing and guaranteed jobs. Two different things, Kamala.
Border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws, and I would enforce our laws as president going forward. I recognize the problem.
Generally speaking,
Trump did enforce the laws, though. So he wasn't a prosecutor, but he definitely enforced our border laws. And again, I don't give a fuck about Donald Trump, but I'm going to call a ball and a strike. That's what I'm going to do. I call things as I see it. For me, it's not about who I agree with. I'm not one of these little young, dumb, hoe-ass niggas that's like that. No. It's about the principle to me. We got principalities involved in this, man. And she ain't got none.
And going forward, I recognize the problem.
Generally speaking, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I have worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter, to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, as an example. That value has not changed. My value...
Okay, so you want to stop with the greenhouse gases, but you are for oil fracking. You see how that works? The people who care about the environment, the people who are trying to reduce greenhouse gases, they all see that oil fracking is one of the major problems in that. We're already trying to get off oil, but fracking has found a new way to get oil that's harder to get. And the people who are for pro-environment, who stand against fracking, now she's talking about my values. She brought that up. My values have not changed. So that doesn't mean your values have not changed over how you prosecute black men, Kamala? She keeps saying her values doesn't change. Then contradicting herself. Now she's queen environment. She was just for fracking. Now she's queen environment. She's not one of me takes it to. You can see the jump cuts, Carl. Yeah. Hella jump cuts. She's like watching a sitcom.
Around what we need to do to secure our border. That value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the Attorney General of California prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs.
Conflating. She's conflating drug runners with people who are coming into the United States illegally to take jobs. 2 different things. They're not asking if you took gun runners. Gun runners was never the question. When we're talking about the border, we're talking about people coming across this border and doing what they're doing right now in Colorado. That's what we're talking about. You see how she's conflating one thing and putting with the other? And she's hoping that we're dumb enough to fall for it?
And human beings across our border. My values have not changed. So that is the reality of it. And 4 years of being vice president, I'll tell you, one of the aspects to your point is traveling the country extensively. I mean, I'm here in Georgia. I think somebody told me 17 times since I've been vice president in Georgia alone. I believe it is important to build consensus. And it is important to find a common place of understanding of where we can actually solve problems.
On that note, you had a lot of Republican speakers at the convention. Yeah. Will you appoint a Republican to your cabinet?
Yes, I would.
Anyone in mind?
Yes, I would. Diversity of opinion. I think it's important. Diversity of opinion. I
want to ask you about your opponent, Donald Trump.
Okay.
I was a little bit surprised. People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Listen.
Yeah.
Any
same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
Y'all see that? Y'all notice this whole interview, she's been bringing up Donald Trump where Donald Trump don't belong. She's asked about the Biden-Harris economy. She blames it on Trump. They asked about the border. She blames it on something that Trump discouraged before her presidency. She keeps bringing Trump up. All interviews, she's bringing up Trump. All interview. You said Cash App? I'm glad I saw that. Appreciate that, Brandon Turner. Yeah, hit the Cash App if y'all fucking with me. Right here, $ DeJuan Brown. Y'all see it right here on the bottom of the screen. $ DeJuan Brown. That's my Cash App. Let me know you feeling what I'm saying. $ DeJuan Brown. We can use it. $ DWANN, last name Brown. $ DeJuan Brown. All right? It's right there, the Cash App. On the bottom of the screen. Appreciate that. So, y'all see how this is going right here, right? That's right, YouTube hip. This was her moment to say, I do represent Black American women. She didn't, so that ends all the black talk for her. Let's play that part one more again.
People might be surprised to hear that you have never interacted with him, met him face to face. That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
See, notice the pause. I appreciate the cash apps, y'all. Keith, appreciate the cash app, Brandon. Appreciate the cash app, Deborah. I appreciate y'all. I should ask for cash app, bro. I appreciate y'all. Hit up the cash app. Pay attention to how long this pause is, though. Let's pay attention to this pause.
Purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Same old tired playbook.
Took about 3.5 seconds for her to same old
core part of your identity.
Cringe.
Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Appreciate the cash app, Dano. Appreciate the cash app, OG Bobby Johnson. Much love to y'all. Let's play that part again. Let's just play that whole interaction that's from the question to answer.
That's going to change soon. But what I want to ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah. Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
Same old tired playbook. Huh? That wasn't the same old tired playbook. He just brought that up last month. He didn't bring that up before on you. So yeah, when it comes time to stand for your people, appreciate the cash app, Tony. Appreciate the cash app, Desmond. Much appreciation, y'all. Let's put that. I want to make sure I ain't tripping. Let me go back.
Ask you about is what he said last month. He suggested that you happened to turn black recently for political purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah. Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it?
See, anybody that's claiming black would have an answer to that, like chat room. If any of us in this chat was around here and somebody said, you playing black, you ain't really black. Is there anybody in here that would just say next question? Right. She was waiting all day for that question and couldn't answer it. Right. You see why voting color doesn't do anything? Her was going on here in California, and I said California. California. I said California. But can you see that? That's why black people who vote color are dangerous to us. The black people who vote along color lines and gender lines, you guys encourage this behavior. Y'all allow these things to go on because of your politics voting based on color. See? That ain't cool. We got to be more politically, and this is why being politically sophisticated is so important. This is why being politically sophisticated is important. You can't go around pleading and hogging and heeing and hawing about your politics and saying, hey, let's all rally around the color. Let's all rally around the color. You know what the fuck rallying around the color does? It gets you these corn-fed ass niggas. Hold on. What's this dude doing on a black? Hold on. These are the niggas that's getting in the way of reparations in California. They're allowing Gavin Newsom to hide behind them by not bringing those reparations to the table, reparations to the floor. It's these Lori Wilson, Stephen Bradford. They're not bringing reparations to the floor. They're not bringing California reparations to the floor. These are black people. You got this assemblywoman out of Inglewood that's getting in the way of bringing reparations to the floor here in California. This is what we're dealing with. This is why voting color don't mean shit. And this is why I need everybody in California right now to go ahead. And why is my computer running slow? Why is my computer running slow? Let's just put it up here. I need y'all to go ahead. It's for lineage-based reparations. We need to hit them up. We need to hit them up. We need to hit them up. Let these niggas know that you're not. Let Gavin Newsom know you're not going to hide behind these black folks, and let these black folks know they're not going to have a job in 2 months, in 3 months, if they allow themselves to be used as cannon fodder for Gavin Newsom. No courage having ass niggas. This is what happens when you vote based on color lines. You get the black people that were put in office. They're the ones that's going to play and hide and allow plausible deniability from the white folks who really govern them. This is what happens. Here in California, we're dealing with black folks. Is this nigga, back to this nigga. Who is this cat? Why is this nigga? Is this a nigga? Why is he on the legislative black caucus? This motherfucker look like a volleyball swimmer, diver ass nigga. This motherfucker look like he played beach volleyball. And I'm not saying black folks can't play beach volleyball, but what the fuck is this dude doing on the California Legislative Black Caucus? Well, salute. If he voting for it, salute it. But yeah, we got black people that's against our shit. That's why voting color doesn't matter. Appreciate the Cash App, Wayne Richards. Appreciate the Cash App. So this is why all this vote for the black girl magic, black this, black that, don't mean shit when it comes to politics. These niggas ain't nothing. And Kamala ain't even a nigga. She a brown bitch that hate niggas and want to be white, but can't be white, so she do everything she can to prove herself as in alignment with white by how she treat niggas.
Purposes, questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
Any?
Same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
That's it? Okay. Let's talk about some foreign policy.
Appreciate that, Will Castro.
That would be on your plate if
Obama
you become
did show that.
Commander-in-Chief. President Biden has tried unsuccessfully to end the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. He's been doing it for months and months, along with you. Would you do anything differently? For example, would you withhold some U.S. weapons shipments to Israel? That's what a lot of people on the progressive left want you to do.
let me be very clear. I am unequivocal and unwavering in my commitment to Israel's defense and its ability.
You see how committed she is to Israel? But when it comes time to ask this question?
Questioning a core part of your identity.
Yeah.
Any
same old tired playbook. Next question, please.
Next question, huh? When it's black, it's next question. When it's them, it's...
As I said then, I say today, Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. And how it does so matters. Far too many
What's up, Dr. Dandruff?
Palestinians have been killed. And we have got to get a deal done. We were in Doha. We have to get a deal done. This war must end.
In the meantime,
and we must get a deal that is about getting the hostages out. I've met with the families of the American hostages. Let's get the hostages out. Let's get the ceasefire done.
But no change in policy in terms of arms and so forth.
No, we have to get a deal done. Dana, we have to get
She's saying, she's giving you an out, no change in policy. We want to know about what the change in policy is going to be because they taking a whole lot of our tax money, Kamala. I appreciate the cash up again, Wayne Richards. So, yeah. That's what Kamala up to. This is what, quote unquote, black leadership is. Too afraid to step up and say something when we need them. And then it's so bad now you get people who really are not us, really are not black at all. But they look black. And then when questioned about standing next to these people who are voting for you because you look black, you can't even give a straight answer. Next question's the answer. So this shows you black folks, we have no friends. We have no friends. So we must move accordingly. We must move accordingly because we have no friends. We do not vote on color. This is why we should be voting for policy the whole way through. These niggas that are both Kamala and these niggas right here, most of them in the CLBC, California, got through on color. But when it's time to stand up for the color that got them in office, when it's time to stand up a policy, we get this. They're refusing, because here's why this is so important again, y'all. Like I reported yesterday or 2 days ago. California has 41 votes to pass this reparations paperwork. They got the 41 votes. You have Asians that are willing to vote for it. You got white folks that are willing to vote for it. You got Latinos that are willing to vote for it on the legislative caucus. But it's these niggas that are getting in the way. And the reason why they're getting in the way is because I'm 99.999% sure Gavin Newsom told them to. Gavin Newsom told, when I went down to, I told y'all the other day when I was at the meeting, Gavin Newsom, when I was at the meeting this past Saturday, Gavin Newsom was saying he was threatening back then as of last week, saying that he's probably going to veto the bill. At first, he was saying that he encouraged reparations, but he encouraged that bullshit apology that they had. When it came to reparations, this dude was talking a good game, saying that he supported the movement. He did say out front right away that he doesn't support cash reparations, so that didn't get pushed through. But the lineage-based part of reparations is on the table. And this drug addict, bathhouse boy, former drug addict, a.k.a. Terry Silver from Karate Kid, looking like Terry Silver's hippie granddaddy, sweep the leg, is now does not want to vote. But see, the thing is, Gavin Newsom doesn't want a veto on his record. He doesn't want him vetoing reparations on his record. So he's telling his pet Negroes, Newsom doesn't want a veto on his record. So he's telling his pets, his new boy, these two, Lori Wilson and Stephen Bradford, he's telling them to sit on it and to not take it up for a vote so that he can hide behind them. You said, Gavin, bang your wife Newsom. Right. Or Gavin, bang your husband Newsom. He cut both ways, from what I hear, allegedly. This the same Gavin Newsom This is the same state assembly. These same black people you see here, these niggas, they also voted this too, by the way, approving $150K to illegals. Pause on this site, goddammit. And look at Newsom. He look as high as me right now, but I'm on weed. What are you? Why are your eyes glossy, Newsom? I'm just smoking weed. What you smoking? Now look, the eye drops could take out the glossiness of weed. What the fuck is going on here? So yeah, $150 home loans and state-supported home loans. Kamala's talking about $25,000 tax credit here in California. Newsom is talking about 150 grand cash to undocumented immigrants. And these niggas voted for it. Right here. These guys. All right. So I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate Pamela. I appreciate the Cash App. Appreciate that. So you guys see what it is. We know what to do. Take this information that you see right here. I have it posted in my community section. This is already posted. And make the calls. Send the emails. Let them know that we have until tonight. Let them know that this will not go unanswered. Okay? Let them know this will not go unanswered. Yeah, positive on it, straight up ridiculous. All right. So that's where we at with it now, folks. I may or may not do incense and ashtrays. If I do, look for those of you on Patreon, whether you're on free, look for a notification around 8 p.m. Pacific. If I do it, I'm leaning to it. I think I'm trying to do it because I did most of my work. I got my lease ready for tomorrow. Got everything. I took care of most of my business this morning, so I should be able to do and Instance and Ashtrays tonight at 8 o'clock, a live music mixdown. All right. What should you say when you email? When you email them, you should tell them that, first off, you should when you email Gavin Newsom, let Gavin Newsom know that his national political chances are going to hinge on whether or not he encourages this bill to be signed. And if this bill does not get signed, if the bill does not reach his desk, then he's going to be seen as responsible for that. Let Gavin Newsom know whatever state you're in, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Georgia, let him know that the black electorate is watching very closely what happens with these two bills. Okay? That's what you're going to do. This is going at Newsom's chief of staff and also the CLBC chair. If you're in California, let Taylor Woolfork know that this is their last time in office if they don't push through with that. If we can't get them out now, we'll get them out the next time. All right? Let them know that. Oh, I didn't have a webinar on. I didn't have it up. Let me put it back up again. I thought I had it up. Where did it go? Where did it go? Let me put the email address back up. Let me put the email address up. It's right here. Here to have it on screen. Email Gavin Newsom. Let him know that his national political chances hinge on how he treats black Californians with SB 1403 and SB 1331. This is up in my comment section right now. But you email dana.williamson@gov.ca.gov. That's Newsom's chief of staff and also the CLBC chair, Taylor Woolfork. That's Taylor Woolfork Taylor Woolfork is the email address. That's the chief of staff for Lori Wilson, the CLBC chair. All right? So that's what we're going to do, man. We're just going to mobilize. And if you want them black people that say, I knew it wasn't going to happen, well, fuck you too. You just as bad as the rest of these white folks. Part of the reason why shit don't happen is because we got you sideline sitting ass niggas that don't want to voice your opinion on nothing but LeBron James and Michael Jordan. What if we can get the same response to this as we get when you put up something about LeBron James? You get 45,000 niggas. Why are you hating? You put up something about reparations, you niggas ain't got a goddamn thing to say. Gotta pay attention to these people. But before we get out of here, I want to say, it's sad what's going on with our brother, Mr. Judge Joe Mathis. Y'all see what happened with Brother Mathis? I said Joe Mathis, Judge Mathis. Y'all see what happened?
How are you today, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I want to ask.
I'm not good. Rather, it's the worst days of my life. How about that?
Okay, well, I'm sorry to hear that. I wanted to ask you, with news of the separation, how are you holding up?
Not holding up very well. I would say the other man, maybe I'll be an example for other men, cautionary tale. Don't neglect your wife. You see how me at the airport now, flying out, as I have for 40 or for 25 years. My wife has been third, serving the community, taping my show, having fun with friends. That's what happens, guys. Never be too busy or never have too much fun beyond your wife.
That's good. That's good advice. And I see a lot of these manosphere niggas is taking this as an opportunity to diss her and to talk about marriage and divorce. Look, let me tell you something. As a married man, you got to take care of home first, and that's part of the deal. You got to take care of each other. And I see a lot of these manosphere niggas going around crying and saying, this is the reason why you should never get married. Man, don't ever pass up on if you got a woman that got your back, you better marry her, fellas. But when you marry her, you make sure you got her back too. I'm not about to clown Judge Joe Mathis. I said Joe. I keep on saying Joe Mathis. I'm not about to clown Judge Mathis, but I will say I've been seeing Judge Mathis around town here in LA for well over 20 years, and I didn't know that nigga was married. I remember reading that he was married, but based on how that nigga got around this town, look, fellas, you can do what you do, but this cat would be disrespectful to the level of peacocking he get going down. I mean, I got a couple homegirls that this cat done. Fellas, take care of home. If you got a woman that got your back, that love you, take care of her. I'm not saying all women are trash, and like don't be on. All women ain't trash, just like all dudes ain't trash. We gotta love and support one another. I know this from being around LA. You can see Judge Mathis out any night of the week. I saw him in Vegas a couple months ago, and that motherfucker was looking like. Take care of your woman, fellas. Take care of home. Take care of home first. Home is more important than all this other shit that's going on politically. It's more important than anything else. Take care of home first. And then once home is taken care of, then you take care of the community. I'm going to tell y'all right now, if it's a choice between a reparations conference and something that's really, 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 really important to my wife, I'm choosing my wife. Now, luckily for me, I got a dope ass wife to where if it's some really big shit going on, she gonna understand, and she ain't gonna make me decide between that and that. But that's also because she knows that, nigga, home is first. So if you want a happy life, a happy home with shit taken care of, make sure you take care of home first. The shit can happen to any of us. And if I ever get, and I'm not preaching to y'all like I'm better than y'all, if I ever get to the point to where I ain't taking care of home, then I might end up like that nigga. But take care of home first, because home is what's going to keep you stabilized when you out there in the world dealing with the rest of that bullshit, all right? Take care of home first. We got to love one another. We got to take care of one another. It's not about one, because if you notice, the cats that talk about a woman's supposed to do everything and a man ain't supposed to do nothing but be there, a lot of them niggas got charges. So watch out for who you listen to when it comes to that kind of shit, all right? Take care of your woman, and when you take care of your woman, then go take care of everything else, all right? And if you take care of your woman the right way, she gonna understand when you're taking care of everything else. And then if you are blessed enough, and I do say blessed because some of y'all niggas, I do relationship counseling. I've definitely seen open relationships. I've counseled them. But if that's going to be your thing, at least be respectful. If you're going to be like that. This nigga Judge Mathis, boy. My whole life, most of my adult life, I'm used to seeing this nigga at all the dope. If it's a dope party, a good party, Judge gonna be there. So take care of home first, all right? You're right about that, Mitch. In your older years, the streets is trash. Me and my wife went to Black on the Block this past Sunday, and it was cool. But there's a whole bunch of like young niggas. It was like mostly a 32 and under crowd. And I remember we was looking like, God damn, we both was looking like, I'm glad I'm not single dealing with this bullshit. So take care of home, all right? All right, we're gonna be doing some music later on Mixcloud, but in the meantime, I want y'all to remember this. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I'm over here trying to sign off, and you niggas in the chat room talking, saying shit like this. This nigga said, Judge him, Rocker. Be more than you stupid for that. Take care of your woman, man. And women, take care of your man. Because it's not just happy wife, happy life. It's also happy we, happy me, happy we. Take care of your man, because your man need to be happy too. And ain't no that shit goes in both directions. Take care of each other. All right. Thank y'all again. And sign up for Patreon too. I forgot to even announce. I'm so focused on reparations, I didn't even sell my product to y'all. That's how much I'm so focused on goddamn reparations. Let me put y'all know. I got my I put up a new playlist on Mixcloud on Patreon. On Patreon, there's a new playlist. There's a new Spotify playlist on Patreon. All right, it's this playlist right here. We got the soulful meditation, but we also got the funk soul. I'm sorry, the soul jazz playlist. This is now up on Patreon. Got some Yasmin Lacey on some newer. This is more so newer music. When I say it's a mixture of music back in the 60s, some of the jazz, because a lot of y'all be wanting to know what kind of jazz I listen to. So I got a mixture of old school jazz and new school rhythm and blues. So it's kind of an eclectic mix of old school jazz and newer rhythm and blues on my soul jazz playlist, all right? So I want y'all to check that out right now. It's on Patreon, exclusively on Patreon. So salute to everybody up over on Patreon. Thank y'all again for listening. Are you adding me on MetaQuest 3? Yeah, add me on MetaQuest 3 every Thursday. We on MetaQuest in the cracking jokes in the comedy verse. I've been so focused on meditation, I gotta sell myself. If I don't sell myself, who's gonna sell me? But thank y'all again for listening. We out.